And welcome back to the Murdy Creative Co podcast. I'm your host, Colin Murdy, and today's topic is fire drill. But first, I want to say thank you to everyone who supported the company so far. If you haven't got a chance, go check us out on the web at murdycreative.co. That's M-U-R-D-Y creative.co. Or you can check us out on Facebook and Instagram by searching at murdycreative.co to see the best of our products. Follow us to get up to date with our daily photos and be the first one to know about new product launches. You can also use the subscribe button at the bottom of our website to be included in all of our new product announcements. Be sure to check out our laser engraving, personalization options, and exclusive colors on the website, or you can get a blank one on Amazon Prime. All right, well, for those of you who watched the last episode about the things that I was concerned about, the issues that I was most worried about in our scaling up process, you can almost see what's going to happen next. And what I was most afraid of happened almost exactly at the time that I was talking about it. So, as I had mentioned in the previous episode, I'll recap it briefly for those who didn't watch it. If you'd like to hear more about this, go back and listen to the whole episode. But I had mentioned that one of the aspects of scaling up that I was the most concerned about was our customer service. It is by far our most manual part of the job, and the software we were currently using in the past, or we were using in the past, not currently, was, I should say, a huge liability. And the way it was set up was very poor. It was not well thought out. It was not well designed. I don't think anybody who would design it has actually used it for its intended purpose, and it has some very gaping flaws. And those flaws came back to bite us. So Friday morning, I get a phone call in the morning, very early, from Meryl saying, we need to have a meeting right away. And it's never a great way to start the morning. But she got on the phone with me and she said, this is a huge problem. I just was cleaning out the HelpSpot inbox for the transition and we're in trouble. So to recap even further, on Monday of that week, I had said to Meryl, I want to get us transitioned to the new software that we're using, which is called Freshdesk, and off of our current software, HelpSpot, by the end of the week. We had initialized Freshdesk that Monday, and we'd been having it run all week. We'd been working on closing out all of the old stuff that was kind of pre-Freshdesk in our system, and then we were going to eliminate the Freshdesk, or eliminate HelpSpot entirely at the end of the week. So Meryl basically said, okay, we've gotten all of that done. Now we're at the point where it's just like making sure that everything's cleaned out before we close out HelpSpot. And she goes, there's 30 emails. Actually, there's more than 30, but there's at least 30 emails that are from before we instituted Freshdesk on that Monday that haven't been responded to in any way, shape, or form. And the oldest of them is almost 4 weeks old. And my heart sank. And I'm like, this is as bad as it gets. Because you don't get a second chance at making a good first impression, unfortunately. And for us, our help in customer service is a huge aspect of our positive first experience. It's really critical in creating a really good understanding between us and the customer that we are going to take care of them. So to have all of these customers, some of whom, by the way, were people whose names I recognized. They were people who've supported us for a long time. And I did my best to take those ones. But what ended up happening was I said, okay, we're going to get a meeting together with all of the important people. And I brought customer service rep, our team, everyone together. And I basically said, here's what we're going to do. This is priority. We've got to get answers to every one of these people before the end of the day. We've got to get all of its stuff. We've got to turn off HelpSpot by the end of the day. And we've got to be entirely on Freshdesk. So we ended up triaging the inbox, the three of us. We ended up assigning me quite a few of the questions that were relatively straightforward, as well as some of the custom orders that were easier. We had Melinda take care of almost all of the more complicated bulk orders or things that people she'd worked with in the past who hadn't got a response in a while. And then Meryl worked on organizing and figuring out how Freshdesk needed to be categorized and setting that up, finishing setting that up so that we were making sure that those people were not being left out of the loop either. So we dived in, and then by noon, we had made good progress. Now, there's a couple of pieces of this puzzle. I don't do custom orders that often, and I actually don't deal with customer service that often on a regular basis, so I had to go through and update all of the software that we've used, get the latest versions of those, download the latest version of the templates. I had to train Meryl, since she's never done custom orders before, on how we do them. So there was a couple of pieces of that kind of slowed us down, but by noon, we'd kind of made good progress, And then between noon and 3, we made even more progress to the point where by 3 o'clock or 3:30, I was able to tell Mel that she could jump to Freshdesk and do all of the urgent things in Freshdesk that were on her, and I could finish out the stuff in HelpSpot. The long story short is we were able to go into the weekend with basically everything answered. I don't think there was anything that was older than a day, and I don't even think there was anything that old that was left over the weekend. For the most part, we'd gotten everything answered, including all of the old stuff. I would say that almost everyone I interacted with, and I think that's true for Mel as well and for Meryl, were understanding. I don't think we really had anybody who was incredibly upset, which was very much appreciated. There were a couple of people who I recognized that I took that were very, very understanding, which was appreciated and encouraging during a time when it was very easy for people to be very upset. So what ended up happening after all of this is we finally get on Freshdesk. And going into the weekend, I had a lot of thinking to do because this took up my entire day. This took up most of Meryl's day, and it was not good. After some reflection and some more research on my part, I do think that HelpSpot was the primary culprit of the problem. Now, obviously, there's different levels of responsibility with an organization, and there's different people whose job it is to maintain and keep on top of these things. And to be completely honest, there were failures on individuals' parts in that aspect. Obviously, ultimately, the responsibility is on me because it is my job in many ways to not only do all of the things I do, but also to manage and play lifeguard and help people when they need help. And it's in part on my job to also keep an eye on things and make sure that things aren't getting too far behind. Because it is very easy in an environment like we're in, where there's a lot of people doing a lot of different things, and there's not and everyone's kind of expected to manage themselves. It's very easy for people to get behind and not necessarily want to admit that they're behind. Or really what happened with HelpSpot, and more importantly, is that they were behind and they didn't know it. So this is where I go back to saying that I think HelpSpot was a huge part of the problem. And there's a couple of reasons why. One, there is no system in HelpSpot to escalate tickets automatically after a certain time frame. Now, anybody who's worked in customer service can recognize that that's a problem right off the bat. And we didn't know it at the time when we got it, but it definitely is a problem. The reason why it's a problem is because if someone sends us a message and it goes into someone's inbox and they get a coffee and they forget to respond to it, or they do respond to it and then a response comes in and they don't see it, right? If there's no way that the system escalates that response after a certain time period, there's maybe no way that they ever see it. It may get buried and then they'll never find it. We've implemented systems in the past to try to clean sweep the inboxes and say, okay, everyone needs to close out everything that isn't responded to, so the only things in the inboxes are things that need to be responded to. But that's tricky because obviously there are things where we send a response to a customer and we don't want to mark it closed because it's not closed, but more importantly, we may need to follow up with them later. And so we want to keep it as something that we're kind of keeping an eye on. And so because of this very poor software, coupled with being incredibly busy in a way that we've never been busy before, and I think there are some personalities in our team they're very dedicated individuals. They are very talented individuals, and they are very good at doing the job. That is not the issue. But part of the problem is I think that sometimes they are afraid to ask for help because they know that everyone else is also busy. So it's not that they're afraid to ask for help because they're afraid to that they're going to get yelled at or that somebody's going to be disappointed in them. They're afraid to ask for help because they're afraid that no one else is able to help them because they also know that, well, if I'm busy, then everyone's busy. Now that's obviously on me, right? I need to, as a leader, as the owner of the company, I need to do a better job of really assuring everyone that if they need help, they need to ask for help no matter what. Even if they're concerned that everyone else is busy, even if they're right, like even if they know for a fact that everyone else is as busy or busier than them, they still need to ask for help. Because in doing so, it helps me find out where our weaknesses are and begin to realize whether we need to be hiring more help, whether we need to be shuffling the way we do productivity, whether we need to be reorganizing the structure to make things move smoother or better, or whatever the case be. And I actually had that conversation earlier the week. That was the conversation that we had, and it was a good conversation because I think there is a lot of I don't think I'm not upset with anyone in particular, and I do think that the switching of the software will be a critical component to our future success because our new software has all of the core things. It has specific timeframes, and there's a system in place where it can sort in a very minimal way different things based off keywords. So, for example, if we've got someone who has the keywords something like upset, angry, disappointed, refund, return, any of those keywords that are likely to be negative, those automatically get bumped to the very top of the list with an urgent response. And if they don't get a response within a certain period of time, it actually notifies multiple people that they haven't got a response and they're late. So tools like that will help us make sure that nothing gets missed, nothing doesn't get responded to. And it also, there's a lot of advantages to this new software, which I think will help us avoid this in the future. On top of that, I do think that there is a better understanding now of when the appropriate time for ask for help is, and to never be afraid to do so. And I'm hoping that this can solve this problem. But as I'll go over in the next podcast, fire drills like this have ripple effects throughout our production system, and it's becoming a bit of a problem. And it's going to change this week for sure. It's going to shape this week in a very meaningful way. But I'll go into that in our next episode. So thank you guys for tuning in today. Be sure to check back in Thursday for our next topic. And don't forget to check that subscribe button, the notification bell so you get notified, and subscribe on whatever podcast app you're listening as well if you're listening there to get the latest podcast right away. We do the podcasts normally Tuesdays and Thursdays. One thing to note, this week we'll be doing our podcasts, but next week I will be off for a specific reason. I'll share that in the next podcast. But so there'll be a missed week next week, but otherwise we do it Tuesdays and Thursdays. If you have any questions or concerns about your leather binder, journal, folio, or accessory, please feel free to contact us on the main page of our website at Murdy Creative Co. Or you can contact us via Instagram and Facebook. You can text, email, direct message, all the usuals. We'll do our best to get back to you as soon as possible, but we do appreciate your patience. We do have a phone number if you want to call us about a quick question or you need to change something like your address or an engraving. It's always best to call us or text us, 414-434-9001. That's available from 9 in the morning to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. If you don't get a hold of us during those hours, please leave a message. We'll get back to you right away. A lot of times it's because we're on the phone line with someone else at the same time. However, if you do message us outside those hours, also please leave a voicemail. We'll do our best to get back to you as soon as we possibly can. It's 414-434-9001. And you can call and text that number. If you think we deserve it, a good review can go a long way to help us grow our new community. Word of mouth is the best form of advertising, so please tell your friends. If you'd like us to leave us a review on the podcast app, please do so on whatever app you're listening on. A nice comment in YouTube does help us in helping get the word out about the podcast. Also, if you want to leave us a review on the product, you can go to murdycreative.co/reviews. There's a button there that says leave a good review. It'll take you to facebook.com/murdycreative.co/reviews where you can leave your great review. We like to use them because obviously they act as a nice third party, so we're not just making it up. However, if you don't have Facebook and you want to leave us a review, send us an email. We definitely love those. We read them. We put them on the wall. They make a big difference for us. We appreciate that. So definitely do that if you'd like. Also, alternatively, you can read all of our amazing reviews there. And if you're going to leave us a bad review, please click. There's another button there that takes you directly in contact with us. Please give us an opportunity to fix it, to make it right. Whatever it is, it means the world to me that everyone is happy that interacts with the company. Even if you don't buy anything, even if you return it, you get your money back, no matter what the case is, please give us an opportunity to make it right. I really, really do mean it, and I really, really want people to be happy. So give us an opportunity. We will do our best to make it right. If you want to tell your friends about the company, please do so. Log in at the top of our website. All you need to do is an email and a password. And then in the bottom left-hand corner, there's a little pane there that says rewards. If you click on that button, you can see all of the reward points you earn, which is 5% back on any purchase you make while logged in. And then also below that, there's a shareable link. That link, if you share it with friends and family, will give them $5 off their first purchase, and it gives you $5 back as in-store credit to use when you'd like to purchase something next. So do that if you want to help us. It really helps us, and you can help your friends a little bit in the process. If you want to hear something, if you have a podcast topic you want to hear more about, send it my way. I'm always looking for things to talk about. So anything that you're curious about, I want to talk about. You can contact with us via email, or you can comment below in the YouTube videos if you're listening there. Definitely get a hold of us, share that topic, and if I can talk about it, I will. If you're looking for multiple binders for gifts, giveaways, menu, really any reason, ask about our bulk discounts available. We have no minimum order quantity on our custom engravings, but we do have a 5-item minimum order quantity on our bulk discounts. So it's 5 and up, and the bulk discount goes up when you order more. And it's just based off your total cart quantity. So you can get 5 of one thing or 1 of 5 things. You can mix and match to your heart's content. And it's definitely, the discounts get pretty good when you get way up there in those good numbers. So definitely reach out to us if you're interested in bulk discounts, SALES at murdycreative.co. If you're looking for custom engraving, though, like I said, we have no minimum order quantity and no setup fees. It's a flat fee, normally about $15, although it can go up a little bit if it's really, really big or if it's going to cover, it's really complicated. But normally it's $15 flat fee, and that's pre-discount if you're getting a bulk discount. So if you're looking to get something custom engraved with your company logo and you just want 1 of them, you can just get 1. If you want 5 of them, you can get those 5 with the company engraving and a little bit of a discount on top of that. And that is an easy way to get, something made a little special. If you're interested in doing that, check out the custom/bulk discount page on our website under the top there. Or you can reach out to us, once again, SALES at murdycreative.co. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Have a great day, and goodbye.